In this podcast episode, Sammy the Bull Gravano talks about his upbringing in Bensonhurst, Brooklyn, where he grew up as a tough kid in a bad environment. He joined a gang early in life and later got drafted into the military during the Vietnam War. Gravano served 2 years in the military, where he received training on how to kill, but he never went to Vietnam. After his military service, he joined the Mafia and became an associate in the Colombo family. Gravano describes his parents as hard-working individuals, with his father being a painter and his mother a seamstress. He had a brother and sister who passed away before he was born, and he had 2 older sisters. He mentions that his parents, who came from Sicily, wanted a better life for him and encouraged him to go to school and college. Because of dyslexia and struggles in school, Gravano found solace in fighting back against those who teased him. He recalls an incident where he fought to reclaim his stolen bike, earning him the nickname Sammy the Bull. Despite the hope of his parents, Gravano ended up getting involved in organized crime, which caused strain on his family but did not diminish their love for him. He acknowledges the pain he caused his parents with his criminal activities. Gravano explains that he was drafted into the military and trained for combat, but he never saw action in Vietnam. After his military service, he joined the Mafia and became associated with the Colombo family through a friend. He recounts a conversation with Shorty Sparrow, a Mafia legend, who offered him protection and a sense of belonging in the family. Gravano's tough demeanor and willingness to fight back against bullies made him a natural fit for the Mafia lifestyle. Throughout his life, Gravano found himself gravitating towards powerful and dangerous individuals, such as mafia bosses and military leaders. He attributes this to his comfort around tough men who exude confidence and strength. His experiences in the military and mafia shaped his approach to life, where he valued loyalty and respect among his peers. Despite not seeking out leadership roles, he found himself elevated within the mafia hierarchy based on his actions and reputation. Gravano discusses his foray into social media and podcasting after his release from prison, where he found unexpected success. He reflects on his willingness to try new things, such as acting in a movie, despite never having acted before. Gravano's open-mindedness and willingness to take on new challenges have led to opportunities in Hollywood and other ventures. He emphasizes the importance of trying new things and pushing through obstacles to grow and evolve as a person. Gravano delves into his involvement in the Mafia, specifically the Colombo and Gambino families. He shares anecdotes about being tasked with violent acts, such as beating someone up and even being instructed to cut off a person's ear. He also reflects on a situation where he was transferred from the Colombo family to the Gambino family due to a personal dispute, which was a rare occurrence in the Mafia world. Despite his violent actions, Gravano mentions that he never killed an innocent person and had a level of compassion compared to other members of the Mafia. One of the striking points in the podcast is Gravano's lack of remorse or emotional response after committing his first murder. He describes how he expected to feel nervous or scared after the act, as portrayed in movies, but instead he felt calm and slept like a baby. This lack of emotional reaction to violence raises questions about Gravano's innate tendencies towards violence and killing. He ponders whether he was a natural-born killer and attributes his lack of remorse to his military training and readiness to fight for his country. Gravano describes himself as a meticulous planner and a calculated killer. He explains that he would carefully plan each murder, knowing everything about the target before carrying out the hit. He emphasizes that he was efficient at killing, but did not enjoy it. He believes that anyone can kill under the right circumstances, such as to protect their loved ones or in service of their country. When asked about the impact of killing on the soul, Gravano reflects on how his eyes changed from happy and joking to cold as ice after his first murder. He mentions a specific incident where a man he was tasked to kill requested to die with his shoes off as a message to his wife, which deeply affected him. He acknowledges that each hit took a piece of him, and he felt a part of him die with every murder. Gravano expresses his respect for traditional masculinity and femininity, highlighting the strength and resilience of women. He believes that women are the center of the universe and acknowledges the unique qualities and strengths that both men and women bring to relationships and society. He rejects the concept of toxic masculinity, emphasizing the importance of providing for and supporting one's family as a true measure of masculinity. Gravano expresses his views on masculinity and societal changes, particularly regarding gender roles and the LGBTQ+ community. He voices concerns about the blurring of traditional gender norms and the push for men to be more feminine and women to be more masculine. He emphasizes the importance of men embodying masculine traits, such as providing, protecting, and maintaining physical fitness. Gravano also touches on his respect for women and his belief in treating them well, influenced by his upbringing and experiences. Despite his involvement in organized crime, Gravano demonstrates a sense of loyalty and care towards his family and loved ones. He mentions taking care of his ex-wife, who is ill, and ensuring her well-being even after their divorce. He also highlights the importance of respecting and protecting women, acknowledging the challenges they face in relationships with mafia members. Throughout the podcast, Gravano reflects on the impact of his environment, upbringing, and experiences on shaping his identity and actions. He acknowledges the role of his neighborhood, family, and mafia connections in influencing his path towards organized crime. Despite his criminal past, Gravano highlights his personal evolution and the lessons he learned from his experiences. He credits his ability to adapt and survive in the mafia world to a combination of his upbringing, training, and unique perspective on violence and compassion. Gravano initially had a positive relationship with Paul Castellano, whom he admired for his business acumen. He recalls being sent to a meeting by Castellano to discuss the concrete club and realizing the potential legal consequences of their actions. Gravano's foresight and concern for the repercussions led him to advise Castellano against pursuing certain ventures, ultimately earning him respect from Castellano. Gravano recounts a situation where he took matters into his own hands to protect Castellano without seeking permission first. He explains his rationale for the decision, emphasizing that he believed he was acting in Castellano's best interest. Despite facing repercussions and criticism from his associates, he stands by his actions and demonstrates a willingness to take risks for those he cares about. Becoming a made man in the mafia was a significant moment in Gravano's life. He describes it as a highlight, comparing it to getting a degree from Harvard. Being made opened up doors to various business opportunities and garnered respect within the mafia. As a made man, he had the support of the entire mafia family behind him, which provided protection and influence in the criminal world. Gravano recalls meeting John Gotti in 1976, a year after he was made. Gotti, who had just been released from prison, was not yet a made man. Gravano reflects on their initial meeting and how he never anticipated the extent of Gotti's role in his life. At this time, Gravano's relationship had taken a downturn, and since Gotti didn't like Castellano either, he arranged a meeting with Gravano to discuss a hit on Castellano. The conversation shifts to the infamous hit on Castellano. Gravano reveals that he and his associates planned the hit over 6 to 8 months. The killing of Castellano changed the dynamics within the mafia, and Gravano and his group aimed to restore the mafia to its traditional values by supporting Gotti as the new boss. After Castellano's death, Gravano became the underboss, a position of power within the mafia hierarchy. However, tensions arose, and Gotti's behavior became increasingly reckless, leading to Gravano feeling out of place on the streets, carrying out hits as an underboss. Despite the challenges, Gravano remained loyal to Gotti until he discovered that Gotti was speaking negatively about him behind his back. The turning point in Gravano's life came when he decided to cooperate with the authorities. This decision was incredibly difficult for him, as he had deep respect and loyalty to the mafia. He recounts the betrayal he felt upon learning about Gotti's disparaging remarks and the emotional turmoil he experienced during this period. Gravano's cooperation with the authorities led to his testimony against Gotti and other mobsters, resulting in his imprisonment. He describes the process of giving evidence and the disbelief from the FBI when he first reached out to cooperate. Despite the challenges, Gravano remained committed to his decision to cooperate, ultimately securing a deal that limited his sentence to 20 years. During his time in prison, Gravano faced numerous challenges, including being labeled a rat or a snitch within the criminal world. Despite the hardships, he prioritized his family's well-being, negotiating deals to protect his son, daughter, and wife from severe legal consequences. Gravano acknowledges the dark side of his past, including the murders he committed and the consequences of his actions. He reflects on the regrets he has, particularly the impact of his involvement in criminal activities on his life and the lives of others. He discusses the challenges he faced in prison, including conflicts with other inmates and the loneliness of being in solitary confinement. After serving his sentence and being released from prison at the age of 72, Gravano found himself broke and without resources. He had to rely on his family for support and started rebuilding his life from scratch. He talks about the importance of hard work and perseverance in overcoming obstacles and moving forward. He shares how he ventured into social media, YouTube, and other platforms to share his stories and connect with a wider audience. Throughout the podcast, Gravano expresses his belief in a higher power and a sense of spirituality. He discusses his admiration for the natural world and the complexity of life, attributing it to a divine creator. Gravano also shares his skepticism towards organized religion, criticizing its greed and hypocrisy while maintaining a personal connection to his faith. Gravano emphasizes the importance of self-reflection and being true to oneself. He advises listeners to be authentic, accept their past mistakes, and strive for personal growth. He shares insights on forgiveness, self-awareness, and the power of choice in shaping one's destiny. He encourages individuals to learn from their experiences, stay true to their values, and keep moving forward despite setbacks.